Hey guys, and welcome back to another Pickled Dragon Unscripted. And as always, we have the very talented Dracoya over here, painter extraordinaire, looking to
No,
pick up commissions in the near future. Yes,
that would be
yes,
nice. That'd be nice.
yes. And of course, as always, we will be partaking with our favorite beverages. Um, Mine today is a blended Scotch whiskey uh celebrating 100 years of adventure. I had this bottle of Cuddy Sark that my sister-in-law got me. I'm working it down. Although I'm probably going to be getting the bourbon Bullet back and probably some Dewar's in the near future, even though Dewar's is another blended. But in any case,
Yeah.
what you got going on?
I got some real fancy bourbon right here. It's called Frank August. It's like really fancy, as you can see. My
That's a
friends and I
bottle, that's a keeper
have.
bottle too.
Is it? Is it a
Yeah.
keeper bottle? I don't
Fill
know.
it
I
with
never really.
dice.
Ooh, I do like that. And I gotta tell you guys, it smells so good. It smells like vanilla. And I don't really like bourbon. I prefer scotch. I don't like bourbon, but I'll make an exception for this one.
All right. Cool. So, guys, the new player's handbook is sort of out, right? There were a few thousand sold at Gen Con,
Yeah.
sold by raffle, like two or 3,000. Um, and so there's all kinds of information, particularly about the chosen ones. Were selected YouTubers who were chosen to share information about the new player's handbook, and we've seen all kinds of stuff. Well, we're going to talk about a couple changes that we found that, as DMs, we think are going to be pretty massive changes for players. Um, so we have, I DM a lot of open tables at game stores.
Hmm.
And I would say that nearly, unless they're a spellcaster, nearly every character takes one of these feats that have changed. And we're specifically talking about two feats: Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter. The changes to those are pretty dramatic. So I'm going to share a screen as we are apt to do around here. Here we go. Hold your breath. So here's Great Weapon Master when it first graced the original 5e player's handbook. And yes, the bottom section there is the important part of the feat that most people take because of that +10 to damage if you take a -5 penalty on your attack roll.
Before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, you add +10 to the attack's damage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way 5e is structured, I mean, -5 is a pretty good chunk, but armor classes are generally kept under control, and characters, most people are using this quite frequently. So it's a big change in damage when you're adding 10 to every hit. And then not to mention if you take something out, you get a bonus weapon attack as a bonus action.
Yeah.
So yes. So let's take a look at what it does now in today's Player Handbook 2024. Boom. All right, here we go. First change: you have to be level 4 and have a 13 strength to even take it. Period.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all right. It
That
adds
makes
1 to your strength score. Yeah, we'll take that. But
okay.
you'll notice that rather than the -5 +10, all it does is deal an extra amount of damage equal to your proficiency bonus. So at 4th level, that would be +2 to damage. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big difference. Now, the offset is that you're not taking that -5 to hit. So some people are going to say, I like this better. Other people are going to be like, I like the big one better. It's a big change though. Either way, it's a
Hmm.
dramatic change.
What do
Uh,
you guys think? Are you guys in the camp of, yeah, sure, it's -5, but +10? Or are you guys in the camp of, well, take it out, and I actually really like the new build better? Like which camp are you guys in?
Yeah, because my experience is that virtually every barbarian takes Great Weapon Master.
Yeah.
They go, and the frenzied barbarians in particular, because they get that extra attack as a bonus action, are swinging recklessly. You know, they might be getting 2 or 3 attacks around, and if they hit all 3 times, and since they're reckless attacking, getting advantage on their rolls, you know, they're willing to take that -5 because if they hit 3 times, that's plus 30 damage, which in one round, or 20 damage, even if it's 2 attacks, in one round, I mean, that's significant. But
That's huge. Yeah. I mean, this is exactly why I have to make my bad guys like 2 or 3 levels above my players, because holy crap.
yes, yes. So, and then of course it still has the critical hit or melee weapon, or reduced to 0 hit points. You get the bonus. You know, the old third edition cleave is what that pulled out of. But in any case, yeah, it's pretty changed. Now the sharpshooter, I think, is an even more dramatic change. So
Okay.
we're gonna take a quick look at that. Here's the original sharpshooter. Long range, you don't get disadvantage. You ignore half cover and 3/4. But again, the -5 minus or +10. Um, and if you're playing like a ranger with the uh ranged combat type, where you're getting
Hmm.
an extra +2, you know, virtually every ranger or ranged character I know, in particular that crazy crossbow build where they're firing 3 crossbow bolts around, um, you know, they had this and they used it
I
nonstop.
had this. I had this in my first campaign ever. I was a ranger. I got all the way up from level 1 to level 12. Yeah.
Woohoo!
She was so cool, man. She was the coolest. And I remember Sharpshooter very well. And we had many, many arguments with my DM about whether or not I should use Sharpshooter.
I mean, that's a huge change or
Yeah.
a huge amount of damage. Now the new version, boo-boo. Now it was like cut off on different sections of the page, so I just kind of mashed it together for you. That's why it looks a little wonky, but
And
so
okay, so the
again,
prerequisite again is level 4. But
yes,
this time it's about the dex and not your strength. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. And then at the
still
very
bypassing
bottom,
cover.
yep, still bypassing cover. Okay, firing and melee being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls with ranged weapons.
Yes.
Interesting.
So
And then
that's kind of nice.
yeah,
What's
that's
what's missing though?
your your plus 10.
Your +10 to damage. That is a
Your,
huge difference because there's like no extra damage whatsoever here.
no.
Unless your ability score, you know, goes from a odd number to an even number, giving you an extra +1, but there's no extra damage here whatsoever. So sharpshooter is, you know, the cover is real nice, and the long shots are real nice. Firing into melee, that's new, and I like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I know that really nerfs a lot of builds, those crossbow guys especially.
I don't
Um,
actually like the firing in melee.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. It's not that I don't love the extra help. I mean, thank you. But it doesn't make sense that there's not disadvantage if you're firing a ranged weapon in melee.
Well,
Like,
you're a Legolas now with this feat. You know,
well, yeah,
you're like firing from 6 inches away. You
well,
know,
yeah, and that's why I guess it just doesn't make sense to me. I actually used to I used to be in archery once upon a time. I was in archery for like 3 years, believe it or not. I won some really cool awards. I was really good. And I gotta tell you, this doesn't make sense. But that's just me. You guys can tell me
I
what you think.
I have no skin in that game whatsoever. So I call Legolas on this one.
Yeah,
But
what do you guys think? Am I overreacting? Is this actually better or is the other one better? Are you guys not loving these changes? I don't love these changes. But
yeah,
maybe
we're
it's
going
just
to
me.
be sharing more 5e 2024 changes with you guys here that we find interesting. We shared one not a few videos ago with the spell Spirit Guardians. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. There's that crazy build. Apparently a lot of the way spells work and abilities work in Baldur's Gate 3 they carried over into uh 5e 2024. So
Yeah, I
which
know.
yeah, which
I feel
yeah.
like we need to do another video on that. That's a whole nother box of.
Yeah, we'll talk about that stuff. Good times.
Okay.
Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out our lovely uh
Sponsors.
benefactors, dnddice.com, promo code pickle, buy tons of dice. They have some really cool dice. I use their dice. I really like them. And I'm not just saying that because I actually went about 25 years without buying a set of dice, and then dnddice.com came along, and I got a few sets of dice from them, and I really actually quite like them. So,
Cool. All
yes, excellent.
right. Well, comment, like, subscribe, subscribe, drink more whiskey, and come back and have another round on us.
All right.